Pay attention to what I'm going to tell you now. You did not click on this video by chance, and I need to be direct with you. There is someone within your social circle, someone who frequents your home, who is interfering directly in your finances, and you perhaps have not even noticed yet. That feeling that the money comes in but vanishes, that you work, do overtime, take side jobs, and at the end of the month it seems like someone opened an invisible drain in your account? This is not just an impression. And no, this is not a lack of organization. This has a cause. And today I am going to show you exactly what is happening, who this person is, and what you need to do before your situation gets even worse. If you are over 35 years old, work hard, support a household, pay everyone's bills, and even so, feel that you are always in debt, always tight, always with that knot in your stomach when you open the bank application, this video is for you. I will not stall you. Stay until the end because the last part of this video can completely change your relationship with money starting today. Now answer me one thing with sincerity. When was the last time you felt true financial peace? I'm not talking about getting rich. I'm talking about laying your head on the pillow without that list of bank slips running through your mind, of looking at the next month without fear, of going to the market without calculating every cent in the cart. If you do not remember when the last time was, that is already a sign. And this sign has a much deeper meaning than you imagine. Let us start with what you already feel in your body. Pay attention to these symptoms. Have you been having frequent headaches with no apparent cause? Have you felt a tiredness that does not go away, even with sleep? Do you wake up in the middle of the night thinking about debt? Do you feel a tightness in your chest when someone speaks of money? Do you get irritated easily, especially inside the home? If you answered yes to at least two of these symptoms, what I'm going to reveal now will make total sense to you. Chronic financial stress is one of the greatest destroyers of health in Brazil. A survey by SPC Brazil showed that more than 60% of adult Brazilians lose sleep because of debts. And the most serious part, this stress does not only affect the pocket. It corrodes physical health, destroys relationships, generates anxiety, and creates a cycle of self-sabotage that seems impossible to break. And do you know what feeds this cycle? Often it is a person you receive in your home, who sits at your table, who eats of your food, and who in a conscious or unconscious way is draining your financial energy. But calm down. Before you go pointing the finger at someone, I need to explain to you how this works, because I am not necessarily talking about theft. I am not talking about someone taking money hidden from your wallet. What happens is something much more subtle, much more dangerous and much more common than you think. Have you ever heard of financial energy vampirism? It seems like a strange term, but it is exactly what millions of Brazilians live every day without knowing. There is a type of person who enters your life, gains your trust, and begins to directly influence your financial decisions. Sometimes it is that relative who always asks to borrow money and never returns it. Sometimes it is that friend who drags you to spend on things you do not need. Sometimes it is someone who lives with you and spends more than they contribute. Sometimes it is a person who does not take your money directly, but who leaves you so emotionally exhausted that you cannot think clearly about your finances. And here enters a fundamental point. Neuroscience has already proven that emotional stress directly impairs our ability to make good financial decisions. When we are under constant emotional pressure, the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for planning and impulse control, functions in a reduced way. In other words, when someone stresses you inside your own home, your brain literally loses the capacity to take good care of your money. Think with me. You arrive home after an exhausting day of work. Instead of finding peace, you find demands, complaints, drama, requests for money, or that person who keeps provoking you, diminishing you, making you feel that nothing you do is enough. What happens? You become so drained that you cannot even look at your bills. You keep postponing. You keep pushing it with your belly. And when you realize, the interest has eaten half of what you earn. If this described you, comment below the word clarity. I want to know how many people are living this same situation. And if this video is making sense to you, take the opportunity and already leave your like. This simple gesture helps this content reach more people who need to hear this today. Now come with me because it is going to get even deeper. There is a concept in spirituality that is totally aligned with what science shows. The idea that money is energy. And like all energy, it responds to the environment where it circulates. If your home is full of conflict, of envy, of heavy words, of disrespect, the money simply does not settle. It enters and leaves. It is like trying to fill a leaking bucket. No matter how much you put there, it will leak. The oldest spiritual traditions in the world, from Buddhism to Christianity, from Spiritism to the African traditions that are part of our Brazilian culture, all speak about the importance of protecting the environment where you live. Protecting it not only physically but energetically, and this includes the people you allow inside that space. I know this may seem harsh. No one wants to admit that someone close is harming their life. But I ask you, are you willing to continue sacrificing your peace and your financial future out of loyalty to someone who does not have the same care for you? This question is not easy, but it is necessary. I will give you an example that happens in thousands of Brazilian homes every month. Dona Maria is 52 years old. She works as an administrative assistant. She earns a salary that, if it were only for her, would be enough to live with dignity. But Dona Maria supports her 30-year-old son, who does not work, lends money to her sister-in-law every week, pays for the weekend barbecue because her husband says they cannot look bad to friends, and still pays the installment of a cell phone she bought for her nephew. At the end of the month, Dona Maria is in the overdraft. She takes medicine to sleep. She feels ashamed of herself, and she believes that the problem is that she does not earn enough. But the problem was never Dona Maria's salary. The problem is the people who entered her home and began to touch her finances without any commitment to return. And Dona Maria, for fear of appearing selfish, out of guilt, out of shame, for fear of being alone, continues allowing it. Do you know any Dona Maria? Or perhaps you are Dona Maria. Now pay attention, because I am going to show you the 7 clear signs that someone is touching your finances in a harmful way. If you identify 3 or more of these signs, the divine alert of this video is directly for you. First sign, you feel guilt when you spend on yourself. Buying a piece of clothing for yourself seems like a sin, but spending on others seems like an obligation. This is not generosity. This is emotional manipulation that someone planted in your mind. Second sign, there is someone who always needs money and only seeks you when they need it. This person vanishes when everything is fine and appears when the bank slip arrives. You became this person's bank and did not even notice. Third sign, you avoid talking about money inside the house, because every time the subject arises, it turns into a fight, a demand, or emotional blackmail. When money becomes a taboo in the home, something very wrong is happening. Fourth sign, you notice that your financial plans never materialize. Every time you start to save money, an urgency arises from someone close, an emergency that, curiously, always appears at the moment when you are starting to organize yourself. Fifth sign, the person minimizes your financial concerns. When you try to say that things are tight, they say, stop the drama. It always works out. Money comes and goes. This is not positivity. This is disregard for your effort. Sixth sign, you work more than everyone else in the house, but you are the one who least enjoys the fruit of your own work. You are the last to buy new clothes, the last to go to the doctor, the last to have a moment of leisure. And even so, someone in the house complains that you do not do enough. Seventh sign, when you try to establish financial limits, the person calls you stingy, selfish, cow's hand, or says that you have changed. This is the most powerful weapon of manipulation, making you feel guilty for taking care of yourself. If you identified yourself, take a deep breath. I know it is not easy to recognize this, but recognizing is the first step. And now I am going to show you the path to the solution. Before continuing, if this content is touching your soul, I ask you, subscribe to the channel. Every week I bring revelations like this that can transform your life, and activate the bell, because not all content appears automatically in your feed. The algorithm hides it, but the bell ensures that you do not miss anything. Now let us go to the solution. And here I will combine spiritual wisdom with practical strategy, because that is how it works in real life. First step, make an inventory of your financial relationships. Take a paper and a pen. Write down the name of every person who, in the last 6 months, received money from you in some way. It could be a loan, a gift, payment of a bill, unequal division of expenses, anything. Beside each name, write, Did this person reciprocate in some way? It does not have to be financially. It can be with support, with care, with presence. If beside some name there is only receiving and no reciprocation, you have found the drain of your financial life. Second step, establish limits with love but with firmness. I know that in Brazil we were raised hearing that family is everything, that we have to help, that denying money to a relative is ugly. But I tell you with all responsibility, helping others at the expense of your own destruction is not a virtue. It is self-sabotage. A limit is not selfishness. A limit is survival. You can say no with respect. You can say, I love you, but right now I cannot. And whoever truly loves you will understand. Whoever gets angry when you say no is showing you exactly the type of relationship you have, a relationship of use. Third step, clean the financial energy of your home. This is both spiritual and practical. On the practical side, organize your finances. Open the invoices you were avoiding. Put everything on paper. Reality may hurt, but ignorance hurts much more and costs more. On the spiritual side, set aside a moment to ask for clarity. It does not matter your faith. It can be a prayer, a meditation, a moment of silence. Ask for discernment to see clearly who is adding and who is subtracting in your life. When we ask with sincerity, the answer comes. Sometimes it comes as an insight. Sometimes it comes as a situation that lays bare the truth. But it comes. Fourth step, create what I call a financial shield. It is simple. Separate an account where only you have access. Every month before paying anything to anyone, transfer at least 10% of what you earn to this account. This money is sacred. It is not for lending. It is not for someone else's emergency. It is not to please anyone. It is your cushion of dignity. It is what will guarantee that, whatever happens, you have a floor to step on. I know what you might be thinking. But 10% is a lot. I can barely pay the bills. Then start with 5% or with 3%. The value does not matter as much as the habit. Because when you create this habit, you send a message to the universe and to yourself. I value myself. And when you value yourself, everything around begins to change. Fifth step, rewrite your history with money. Many people carry limiting beliefs about money that were planted in childhood. Money is dirty. The rich are dishonest. We were born to be poor. He who asks too much loses what he has. These phrases seem harmless, but they function as programs that sabotage your every attempt to prosper. And do you know where these phrases come from? From people. From people who entered your life early and programmed your mind with scarcity. Spirituality teaches us that abundance is the natural state of the universe. Nature is not scarce. The sun does not choose whom to shine upon. The rain does not fall only in the rich man's garden. Scarcity is a human construction. And if it was constructed in your mind, it can be deconstructed. Start by observing the words you use when you speak of money. Do you say, I have no money, or I am choosing where to invest my money? Do you say, I am poor, or I am building my prosperity? The difference seems subtle, but the impact on your subconscious is gigantic. Neuroscience shows that the language we use shapes the neural networks of our brain. When you repeat phrases of scarcity, your brain literally configures itself to seek more scarcity. It is a biological trap fed by social programming. I am going to tell you something that perhaps no one ever told you. You deserve prosperity, not because you are special, but because you are alive, because you strive, because you care. The fact that you are watching this video this far shows that you are seeking something better. And this search is already a sign of transformation. Now the sixth step, and perhaps the most courageous, have the difficult conversation. That person who is draining your finances, and deep down you already know who it is, needs to hear the truth. Not with anger, not with accusation, but with honesty. Sit with this person and say, I need to reorganize my financial life. I love you, but I can no longer continue assuming responsibilities that are not mine. I need you to assume your part. Will it be uncomfortable? Yes. Might this person take offense? Yes, but I guarantee you one thing. The pain of a difficult conversation lasts days. The pain of a destroyed financial life lasts decades. And here enters what I consider the most powerful point of everything I brought you today. Divine protection over your finances begins when you make a decision. God, the universe, the creative energy, call it what you will, cannot act where there is no decision. Divine grace needs an open door, and that door is your attitude. When you decide that you will no longer allow anyone to destroy that which you build with sweat, you open space for greater forces to act in your favor. You know those stories of people who were at the bottom of the financial pit, and suddenly things began to change. An opportunity appeared, a debt was renegotiated, a better job arose. These turnarounds do not happen by magic. They happen because someone made a courageous decision. And the first step generally is, stop feeding who was consuming you. I want to end this video with an image. Imagine your financial life as a garden. You plant, water, care. But every night, someone enters this garden and pulls up your plants. You wake up, see the damage, and plant again. And the next night, the same thing. How long will you continue planting without putting up a fence? Today, this video is your fence. The decision to protect what is yours is the most powerful seed you can plant. Now I need to ask you one last thing. Share this video with someone you know is living this situation. Perhaps this person does not have the courage to seek help alone. Perhaps they need someone, you, to show the way. A simple share can transform someone's life. And comment below, which step touched you the most? Was it the inventory of relationships, the difficult conversation, the financial shield? I read all the comments, and I want to know how this content is impacting your life. If you have reached this far, I want you to know, this is already proof that you are ready for change. Most people give up before the first minutes, but you stayed, you listened, you reflected, and now the decision is yours. The alert was given, the revelation was made, the next step is yours. I am grateful to be on this walk with you. Subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and I will see you in the next video, where I will reveal the 3 signs that your financial turnaround is closer than you imagine. You will not want to miss it. Until then, take care of yourself, protect what is yours, and remember, you were chosen to hear this today. Do not ignore it.